The video shows a glimpse of what life was like for WNBA star Brittney Griner inside Russian prison. She spent her days carrying fabric because she was too tall to sit at the sewing tables where other prisoners worked. Her bed was too small for her 6'9" frame. Griner was arrested back in February for traveling with hashish oil, a substance banned in Russia. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison in August. Her release part of a prisoner swap for Viktor Bout, a convicted Russian arms.
Wait, Brittney Griner, who is imprisoned in Russia, is now facing criticism for allegedly attacking Caitlin Clark. This is not simply a sports story. This is a full-blown controversy. Brittney Griner, the WNBA's most controversial star, recently elbowed Caitlin Clark on live TV. What happened next will shock you to the core. Doctors are revealing Gurrier's medical history, including bone structure, voice, and patella.
But apparently, Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Artificial intelligence scans and Instagram videos that should not have existed the WNBA may have known about and covered up a scandal involving Brittney Griner, which could have far-reaching consequences for women's sports. Stay tuned for updates that may challenge your assumptions about the league. In a high-intensity clash between Fever and Mercury, things quickly became personal.
It was nice to be back on the court in a real game and everything.
Brittney Griner does not only foul. Caitlin Clark launched a calculated elbow, causing tension to rise through the screen. Clark stumbled but did not retaliate, but social media took notice and began zooming in on Gurrier's face. Lip readers confirmed fans' fears. The Griner mouthed trash to a white girl on national television in front of millions. While trash talk is common in basketball, this crossed the line into racial and ugly behavior. The league did not issue a flagrant foul, statement, or fine. Nothing like them. Fans didn't want to deal with the incident, but they weren't going to let it go. The elbow was the spark. The subsequent queries and discoveries expanded the scope of the narrative beyond basketball courts.
Caitlin Clark did not back down when the Atlanta Dream got chippy with her. Especially Ryan Howard was trying to get on Caitlin her nerves, but she kept cooking her. And they were face guarding her the entire game like she was prime Steph Curry.
There's a lot of bumping and like that. And there's some words between the two players as Nas Hilton quickly.
And at the end of this altercation, you can clearly see Caitlin Clark say, "I'm not scared of you." And Howard continued to be provocative. And after Caitlin drew this offensive foul on Brittney Griner, it looked like she was pretty annoyed with her.
Brittney moved.
And here she gets clearly fouled, and again they were chirping at her afterwards.
Shooting 31, they came in the season. Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark finding a way to...
And here Brittney Griner picked up her 6th foul and had to sit for the rest of the game. You could clearly see what she was saying.
Talking about earlier today.
All right. At this point, it feels like a random Netflix documentary. Sports medicine experts. Sports medicine experts, including doctors, therapists, and AI analysts, began weighing in on Griner's physical makeup, shoulder bone structure, and injury recovery speed. One expert stated that this is unusual for a female athlete at this level.
But my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
Professionals pointing out an unnoticed or hidden issue sparked a stir, prompting questions about the league's eligibility to play in the WNBA. Brittney Griner's Instagram story. If doctors raise concerns, should the league ignore them? Receipts are important in today's digital world. An old Instagram story of Griner resurfaced, showing her topless with no surgery scars or blurs. The kicker is that Instagram did not take it down.
The women have a league. As far as I understand, it's mostly women without penises, but I leave that to you to figure it. Well, it's actually a little unclear because this Brittney Griner, a lot of people think she's a dude. But in any event, Brittney Griner is a black basketball player who some people think is a man. I don't know. I guess she's a woman. Let's just say she's a woman. Here's a chick, a black chick. Brittney Griner's a fine player, I suppose. We'll get to that in a minute.
So, what does this mean for the WNBA's AI system failed to recognize female anatomy, possibly due to faulty algorithms? The WNBA's silence on the issue of Caitlin Clark's racial slur raises concerns about the league's trustworthiness. The league has yet to issue a statement, clarification, or apology.
Flag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Rick, thank you. Get the fuck. Get the hell out of here, yo. Yo. Jab stepping with the brick. Swing and a miss.
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Flag is down for
All
the
right,
count.
we can stop it. We can now.
The league is protecting its image by ignoring medical professionals and allowing a player like Clark to take a hit, which is not just strange, but also suspicious. Fans are not stupid to question the league's actions. The doctors conducted a thorough examination of the athlete's skeletal structure, muscle composition, recovery rates, and voice patterns, which did not align with typical female elite athletes. Additionally, the athlete's injury history raised concerns. Most WNBA players require time to recover from physical stress. Gurria's recovery is comparable to that of an NFL linebacker. Medical specialists recommend comprehensive biological verification.
Chromosome.
He is a man conducting hormone analysis. Bone density scans are conducted to ensure fairness in women's sports, rather than to shame individuals.
So let's talk about it, guys. Again, allegedly, it could be any number of things, but my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity.
In mental health, experts believe that athletes should play on a level playing field, as there is more to it than just physical injuries. They have observed that issues such as anger, anxiety, and identity stress can lead to eruptive behavior. If Griner's biology does not match the rules for women's sports, it could be considered fraud. Losing a college scholarship or Olympic slot to someone who should not be competing could be career-ending for some athletes. Lawyers are already speculating that this could lead to a flood of lawsuits and a legal mess if the WNBA was aware.
She gets bodied, dude, like NFL linebacker style.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah. Look at this. Clock her ass, man.
Yeah, black women hate her.
Dude, I don't even see like LeBron get battered like this.
Yeah.
And he, like, somebody has bad breath and they breathe on him and he goes flying back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she actually spoke out for black women. There's a black women's league.
Yeah, she's like a leftist.
She's like a cuck for black women.
Yeah,
and they beat the crap out of her.
She's well, that's what happens when you cuck out to people. They don't respect you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she did it to hope to get that respect. Yeah. That is not going to work.
Look at this.
You get way too much attention. You making all this money and endorsements. They're jealous of you. She's like the face of that league.
Yeah, and she's the only person like really putting butts in the seats.
Yeah.
This story no longer exists. International sports bodies, including soccer, swimming, and Olympic committees, are closely monitoring the situation. If the WNBA is involved in a major controversy, other women's sports will face similar questions. How would you define eligibility? How do you enforce fairness? How to maintain fan trust? If the league ignores the issue, it sends a message that it prioritizes image over integrity. The WNBA has worked hard to build a fan base and attendance records. However, a top-tier player, Brittney Griner, was caught elbowing a rising star, potentially hiding biological advantages. This is a true crisis, unlike anything seen before.
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going. He played on girls' sports teams because his paper said he was a girl. He had to keep pretending in college, stay in women's teams, and now he just has to keep barely pretending to stay in the WNBA. But in all other ways, he lives life as a man. He wears men's clothes, dates and married a woman, has masculine features, and takes masculine roles. If not for his mother's insanity, he would be a mediocre male player in the NBA. And honestly, that may even be a little bit generous.